Happy day, YouTube. My name is John, and this is my channel, The Intermancer. I recently bought a refurbished MacBook Pro. Previously, I'd been using a MacBook Air, and the difference in resolution of the screens really messed up my video editing process because my iPad couldn't handle the increased resolution. I think I've got everything fixed. Hopefully this video here I'm able to get onto YouTube. But there were two videos I recorded that are lost. Or, I mean, they're not lost, but they're not going to ever end up on YouTube because the editing it's just not worth figuring out how to get the video resolution fixed so that I can edit them appropriately. But I think I have it worked out with a new workflow for creating my video, and hopefully this one goes through without a hitch. It's very unfortunate that the last two videos are the ones that I lost, because 2 videos ago I did something that was new for me. I've been focusing all my attention in this series on learning how to use AI effectively to help my coding by focusing on the lowest level possible, which is context management. And what I now know has come to be called like specification driven development, or requirements driven development. And I think I did the right thing by focusing on those lower levels. But a friend of mine, Rick Hightower, has strongly been encouraging me to try a coding agent. He recommended that I try the OpenCode AI. So I did. And honestly, I was more than a little shocked at how much that agent would do for me. And I gave it a prompt, and it just started doing stuff and committed code and pushed up to GitHub. And I think it kind of overwrote some of the work that I had already done. But now I am back to try to continue this journey. And I think where I'm at is that I have my experiments being managed by an experiment service, and I pulled some of the functionality out of an experiment controller. So I've got experiment service being called by experiment controller, and experiment controller now just handles the endpoint management, and experiment service maintains instantiates the experiment, puts in a repository, and that kind of thing. So we are going to take the next step and see where it goes. I'm going to try to keep this video short because I really want to make sure that all my editing works. Very well. Where are we at? You can see here that I have the OpenCode plugin installed into IntelliJ. I at first tried to use OpenCode in the terminal, and that was a very unpleasant experience. I know that a lot of these coding agents are designed for a terminal, but I don't know if the IntelliJ and terminal and OpenCode specifically just don't work well together, but they didn't work well together. So I got the OpenCode plugin, and I bought some tokens on OpenCode. You can see here that, okay, let's see. You can see here I originally purchased $20 of tokens, and I've used $1.47 of that. So actually the OpenCode is pretty reasonable, although I've only been coding cumulatively for maybe an hour. So if I was using this on my day-to-day, then I imagine it'd probably add about, I'm estimating under $10 a day, but about $10 a day, somewhere around there, just in tokens, at least with what I'm seeing right now. All right. I have been updating Experiment Controller to use the new Experiment service, and I have added an experiment repository so that multiple experiments can be managed. Last time I have not yet successfully started actually typing this out, typing the prompt out. I remembered where I was last time. Last time I was doing anything, I had finished all the code, but I hadn't seen it work on the UI. So let's just go ahead and do that. Here I'm in the front end directory, and I can say npm run dev. That's going. I can here and do Gradle w run boot. Build failed. All right, let's see why it's failing. Let's do the build. Build successful. Okay, that's interesting. What about now? Will it do the run boot? Okay. I thought the Gradle target task run boot would start my server, but I'm getting build failed with the message that there is no task in, there is no run boot task in the project. What am I doing wrong? Boot run. think even on one of those videos, I asked about what the task name is. Again, even as you're experienced, don't hate yourself for failing at basic things or getting something wrong that you've done right a million times, because it happens. And as a developer, you're constantly engaging with your own memory and your own mind, and you're constantly going to be disappointed with yourself. So it's important to be gentle with yourself. So localhost 5173. Okay, nothing's coming up. And I did this before, and I've already addressed this, but we'll go ahead and address it again. When I try to hit localhost 5173, I get the following error in my JavaScript console, in my dev console on the browser. Now, the interesting thing is, it's going to, before it would do all this stuff. So let's see. That was quick. And it came up. Let's go ahead and restart. Okay. Go to experiment. Everything comes up. Start experiment. And it doesn't seem to be doing anything. Oops. That fixed the web page. When I selected experiment on the sidebar, the start experiment screen showed. When I clicked the start experiment button, it seemed to, the screen updated, but I was not getting the status from the running experiment. The live update to the status from the running experiment. Okay. It does a lot of okay. So it's saying that experiment status was a component because it's executing and it's making changes. So this is one of the interesting things about using an agent. You give it a prompt and it starts working. It starts doing stuff. It's not just thinking about it, it's doing it. Now, I'm told I can put it into plan mode to see the plan before it starts doing stuff, and I probably need to do that. Another interesting thing is that when it makes changes, it does a build, it looks for failures, and then it looks at the classes, the test classes that failed, and tries to fix them. And it puts all of that in your git stat or commit, and it keeps going until it gets a clean build. So let's go ahead and restart the server. Experiment cycle impl. Says the constructor needed experiment status. When I try to start up the server, it failed with this message. Okay, once it's done, I'm going to actually read all of its output. Or it does a good summary, so I'll at least read the summary. Let me just write a completely new basic experiment impl test file. Completely new. I haven't hand-rolled much of the test code, so that doesn't bother me much, but the fact that it just, let me just rewrite this whole thing, that bothers me a little. Okay, let's see it start. Okay, let's go ahead and reload this. Go to experiment, start an experiment. Am I seeing anything into, oh, look at that. Cycles completed, organisms replaced. It didn't step through it. I'm wondering if that's just because I have a faster computer now. But I thought I was checking the status every second, and it seemed to run more than a second. So let's go here. Everything seemed to run that time. I thought I was checking the status every second on the web page. It seemed like it only updated the status once when the experiment completed. What is this enable async? That's new. I was doing it fine before without enabling async. What's that? I'm gonna ask about that. Huh. I've never used async or enable async. What do those annotations do? Okay. Let's try it out. With that explanation, I wonder why I didn't have to use async before. I mean, before, even though status was a singleton, it seems like they're different HTTP requests. Computers. All right. I'm still seeing the same thing. I clicked start experiment and saw no updates until the experiment completed. Get status, experiment ID, experiment service. I see that there is no async on experiment service dot get status. Does it need to be there? Run experiment async. Okay, let's go ahead and restart the server. Reload the page, go to experiment, start experiment. Still, the status is still not updating every second. Let's change the default configuration to do 5,000 cycles instead of 1,000 so that we have more time to confirm the behavior. I just want to point out that with all of this that I've been doing, I've used a total of 58 cents of tokens. And I'm using Claude Haiku 4.5. I wonder if that's my problem. Normally I'd been using Sonnet 4.5, but Haiku 4.5 had recently come out and I wanted to try it out. Maybe it's just not working as well. I think with my next command, I'm going to switch over to Sonnet. Huh. All right, so let's start the server here. So it says it's already running. I would rather start the server on my command line so that I can easily see all of the output. Please stop the server you started earlier. All right. Now let's go back here, reload the page, go to experiment, start experiment. Okay, it is definitely not updating every second. Is it still running? Oh, exceptions. Out of memory error. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Okay. Click that explain with AI button. Evaluation queue. Evaluate method. Oh, there's evaluation state. Uh-huh. After the lead consumption count offer prediction keeps adding to the method. Keeps adding to the queue, but get prediction. Okay, it's been 42 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and call the video here. I'm going to spend some time with what the AI is saying because it doesn't look right based on the code that I'm seeing. I offer prediction, and then if it has enough lead counts, then it reads the prediction every time. So poll lead data. Anyway, I'm going to spend some time with this, try to figure out what's going on. Obviously, the AI thinks it knows where my memory leak is, and I'm going to try to figure that out, but I want to keep this video shorter. Thank you for your time.